Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. We are taking advantage of several hours of watching my youngest at soccer practice. And so for the next couple hours while I watch this brave man herd what seems to be cats running around endlessly, we are going to take this opportunity to film maybe a little request from you today. So I'm gonna look up, I think I had one for Redford Naturals, so we're gonna do that and hopefully this worked out. All right, so it was Redford Naturals chicken and brown rice. So Redford Naturals, excuse me, is by a company called Pet Supplies Plus. This was what was asked of me. And they asked for the chicken and brown rice recipe. So you can see here, it comes in this 28-pound bag. It's going to cost you $54.98 for in-store or pickup. So let's see what we can glean here. And guess I forgot to introduce myself. Hi, my name is Dr. Ray, and I'm a small animal general practitioner, and obviously I'm a mom, and I'm a YouTube, whatever this is, influencer, video maker, and I make these videos and try to help you guys enjoy life and enjoy your pets and understand pet food labels because things have gotten so gosh darn confusing and they really don't need to be. And so in order to combat that, what I've done is I've come up with a pet food scoring system, the PSS, and we're going to use that today to evaluate this food and strip it of all the superfluous, confusing stuff, and we're just going to get down to the basics. And I think that's the important place to start. And certainly you can go from there, but unless you have the basics down, that's why things get so confusing. So let's see if we can work through this today using the PSS system. So first thing we are going to do, I guess we'll just start on the package and pull out a couple things on the package that are interesting. So it's Redford Nationals chicken and brown rice recipe. Now the word recipe does have meaning, and it means that the chicken and brown rice are only forming a part of the diet. They are not the complete diet. And I think I have a really good example of this. I might do a short on it or something like that. But it's only a part of the diet. It's not the whole diet. It may not even be the majority of the diet. And so I'll flash this up here and post what the word recipe means, because it does have an actual meaning when they use that on the package. It has a definable legal meaning. The package is a legal document. And so when they use this word recipe, it actually is defined, and they can only use this word recipe if they fall into that definition. It says it is a complete and balanced diet for dogs. So we're going to be checking the AFCO statement to see if it actually is for dogs or what life stage it may be. No corn, no wheat, or legumes. And so they're specifically putting that on there, I think, to um, bring awareness to the fact that there is currently a big controversy out there about DCM and heart disease and grains and not grains. And, the data is wishy washy in one study, but there have been multiple studies that kind of validate that study. And so, anyway, it's being worked through. And so they are trying to, I guess, capitalize on that with their marketing, saying, hey, look, we don't use legumes, which have been implicated potentially in some health issues. So they're just putting that on there for you guys so that you guys see that. So let's go to the back. Can you zoom? You can't zoom in. So let's see if we can't find some more information here on the details. Probiotics, taurine helps support heart health. They just broached on this a little bit in a short the other day. Taurine is not in the dog an essential nutrient. And so it's not an essential nutrient in that it is essential to life, but it's not essential to the dog because the dog can actually synthesize it. So it'll take different components in the body, and then the liver, I think it's the liver, will actually make taurine. So the fact that they add taurine to that, it really isn't necessary. That's totally a marketing thing. Made in the USA, and with US and imported ingredients. So, from everywhere. And then chicken is the number one ingredient, and that has to do with weight, does not mean volume. And so when we look at what the word recipe means, we'll see that that can be deceiving, and it's a that can be very deceptive just because it's the number one ingredient on the ingredient list. That is by weight, and that is not necessarily by volume. Okay, so just as they said, chicken and chicken meal. Now that chicken is mostly water, and so the majority of your protein source is actually coming from the meal, which is the second ingredient. But it is still chicken. So you can hear yelling. I don't know if you can hear it or not. He's yelling at the team to get into two lines, so they're going to be pretty close here for the next couple minutes. What we are looking for in the ingredient panel before we move on is it grain free or raw? And it's not grain free or raw, so they're going to get 2 points here for this. Next thing I want to see is the AFCO statement, which is right down here. And what we're looking for is we're looking for a food that's specifically formulated for the correct life stage it's being marketed to, which is an adult. And we are also looking to see if this food was feeding child. And so this is the AFCO statement here. It says Redford Naturals chicken and brown rice recipe. Dog food is formulated to meet the nutritional levels established by AFCO dog nutrient profiles for all life stages, including the growth of large sized dogs. So this is a large breed puppy food. They're not going to get the point here. It was also formulated. So incorrect life stage. So we're up to 2 points so far. None on the AFCO statement because it's the incorrect life stage and it was formulated. And then we've got 2 points because the ingredient list was okay for our introductory purposes. Next thing we need to do is we need to check the guaranteed analysis. Now, in general, when you analyze foods or when you're looking through foods, um, the guaranteed analysis is okay for like just a beginning evaluation. But on this channel, a lot of times I like to take it kind of to the next level, and I like to go ahead and get the dry matter basis. Now, I don't have that available for you today, but I don't think it's going to matter because I'm looking at these numbers and they're not falling very close to the range, to the recommended ranges. If it's really close, you do need to get actual numbers and you do need to get rid of these minimum and maximum business, and you need to have this on a dry matter basis to compare to the standards. But I'm perusing them right now and I'm seeing that they're not falling very close anyway, so I don't see the reason to do that. A lot of you guys that have been with me for a while have gotten pretty good at seeing and recognizing these things, and that's exactly what I want from you. The very first thing we need to do is check the metabolizable energy. So that's the energy density of the food, and in order to properly compare foods, they should be both on a dry matter basis and an energy density that's close to 4,000, 3,500 to 4,000. And so this one right here is 3,700. So we can go ahead and do the evaluation. I'm going to pull up here the standards, even though I know a lot of you guys have these memorized by now, but these are standards from Small Animal Clinical Nutrition. Now, what is the difference between these numbers and AFCO? I've been getting asked this question a lot. AFCO is a government agency that is mostly was mostly formed or is mostly concerned with making sure that a food is not deficient. They don't want the consumer to be gypped by buying a food that a food company has skimped on. And so they list a lot of minimums, and they don't really care about the maximums. They don't care if your pet is over supplemented. They don't care if it's the optimal level. Their main purpose is just to make sure basically that you are not slighted. And so, in their effort to make sure that you are not slighted by a food, company skimping on you, they are not making sure that you are not slighted by over supplementing and providing what could be considered just as deleterious an effect by over supplementing. And so we're not using AFCO, we're using small animal clinical nutrition numbers. These numbers you will find fall in AFCO. They fall into a much, 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 much more narrow range than AFCO, and that's because these numbers are the numbers that are backed by research for optimal performance. And so those are the numbers that we're going to be using today, and that's these numbers here on this little chart. And so again, ideally these should be converted to a dry matter basis, and we don't want minimums or maximums, but you'll see as we go through these that it's just really not going to matter. And so we're not going to waste time on that today, and we're out here and we're in the sun and the wind and it's a beautiful day and we're just having a good time. So we're going to go kind of with what we have here. So ideally the protein should be between 15 and 30. My kid's up. I want to see a good one, buddy. Yep, let's see a good run. Okay, so 15, between 15 and 30. So this is at 24. So we are going to be in a good range. Now this is a minimum. So yes, technically it could be 50,000, but all in all likelihood it's not going to be exorbitantly larger than 24. So it's good in that level. Crude fat again, this is a minimum. 14. We want it between 10 to 20. So, that's nicely situated in the range, and it's very unlikely that they are going to over supplement that, to that degree fat. These numbers are usually reasonably close. It's only when they're very, very, very close that we have to worry. So I feel good, feel good with giving them the point for that. Crude fiber maximum at 4 is going to be good. We need that to be less than 5. That moisture content there at 12% is what you need to convert this to a dry matter basis. We have calcium a minimum at 1.2. Those of you know that have followed that, that is going to be an excess in minerals, and that is a minimum. So it could be more than 1.2, and 1.2 is already in excess, so they're going to lose a point there. Phosphorus at 1.1 is also an excess. And so this is only going to get 3 points for the guaranteed analysis, bringing it up so 4 to a 5. I do want to hit a couple high points here because I have been asked to include some of the other things. Now, vitamin E at 150 is a pretty wimpy number. For vitamin E to be effective at properly scavenging those free radicals and having that antioxidant capabilities, it really needs to be above 400. So that 150 is not really getting you very far. Let's see what else are they listing here that is useful. You can see these little starred items, and right here, as I was touching earlier, that taurine has a starred item, and that's indicating that taurine is not recognized as an essential nutrient by AFCO dog. Food nutrient profiles, and that's true because it is not essential to be provided in the diet. The body will synthesize that in the dog. So each one of these starred items is not essential. It's things that they have added for whatever reason they have chosen to do so, but they are not essential. You can have a perfectly fine healthy life without those items being added into the dog food. They're just doing that for marketing and just trying to be complete and things like that. All right, now we got the battery saver mode on. I mean, we are really roughing it today. I do not have a battery, so if we die, we will have to. If this dies, we'll have to pick up later. But we're gonna try to get it. We're gonna try to fit it in here. Um, so what did we say? We're up to 5 now, and the next thing that we have, or actually the last thing that we have, is the feeding guide. So the best case scenario in this with this food is going to be a 6. For the feeding guide, what we want to see is the resting energy requirement calculated correctly, or are they recommending the right amount to feed? And so let's see if we can find the feeding guide in one of their graphics. Usually, when it's all life stages, the feeding guide is really convoluted, and there's a lot of usually like there's a lot of different levels that they have there because they're trying to tell you how to feed an adult, how to feed a puppy, et cetera, all the life stages of puppy. And so it usually gets a little bit convoluted. Let me see if I can do. Let's see if we can find it, like maybe on another website that has like a picture of the package, or maybe we can just expand it. We saw how many calories there was. So yeah, it looks like you can only buy it at the Pet Supplies Plus. Let's see. Okay, here we go. We can maybe extrapolate this here a little bit. It's saying for an adult dog, this is really weird. Like they have 60 to 80 pound adults. They don't. Where is the smaller dog? I guess it's over here at the 12 months. That's really weird. 20 pounds, 2 cups. I think it said it was 400. Um, 400, I believe, calories per cup. Yeah, 407 kcals per cup. It's saying then a year-old dog and it weighs 20 pounds to maintain needs 2 cups, and that's going to be quite excessive. So that's going to be around 800 calories, even with the multiplier. That's way too much. We want someone between 363 and 538. So they're not going to get a point here. So um, what have we learned today? Hopefully we've learned that we can multitask and do these videos at soccer, because then I can bring you more content. But what mainly we've learned, what you guys have come here today for, is that Redford Naturals chicken and brown rice dog recipe is only going to score a 5. We were off on the couple parameters on the guaranteed analysis, the minerals. We were off on feeding guide. This is one of the ones that's been the most off on the feeding guide, to be quite honest, and then the AFCO statement was completely off. So if you're feeding this food and it's working for you, I'm not telling you to change. I'm not telling you guys to do anything. I'm just teaching you how to evaluate the package and what to look for, and what references to use to help you along. And so I do have the small animal clinical nutrition linked down below, so you guys can peruse that free full text link. And yeah, we'll hang out again hopefully real soon. And if you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe, help the channel. And I will see you guys next time, next Thursday. Maybe on the soccer field, may not. We'll have to see. Bye. You may hear them in the background, various soccer noises, but you know, just enjoy your time out here with me, talking to myself like an idiot. People probably are wondering what I'm doing, babbling to myself. I don't think my son's gonna be a soccer star, but now, you know, this is on video, so if he is one day, he'll know his mom didn't have the most faith in him.